Hey y'all, it's me again. How my silly beans doing? I hope y'all are all good. I'm about to make a alcohol lamp for mycology use, lab use, whatever you want to call it. It's much easier than having to, strike a torch or a lighter every time you need to flame sterilize something. So I figured I would show you all how I'm gonna do it. I have never made one before, but I've watched like 50 videos and it seems pretty simple, so I wanted to try it, and I'm going to let you guys know how it goes. This is the simplest version that I've found. So what you're going to need is some cotton, 100% cotton. Pretty much all cotton balls are 100% cotton. Anything that's 100% cotton or a wick of some sort. And this is what I use to put the holes in my jars, that and a hammer. You're going to need a can and something to cut a piece of the can, a jar, and some alcohol. All right, I'm going to get everything set up and then we'll get going. Okay, to start, we're going to put a hole in the middle of our jar. We want it to be, let's see, what am I using? 1/3 of an inch. You want it to be a little bigger than this, so whatever that is. So I'm just going to use this to make my hole, and then I'll make it a little bit bigger. Sorry, I know that was probably loud. So you just pop that through there and it makes a pretty decent hole. Come on, my friend. Okay, so we take that out, and then I'm going to grab something to make it actually a little more round and a little bigger. These are pretty easy to manipulate, so let's see. A Sharpie. So yeah, you want your hole about the size of a Sharpie. We're just going to push that through there and make it a little more round. Just kind of work it around a little bit. Yeah, that should be good. And then we're going to set that aside. And then we're going to take our can. And I just got something to stabilize my blade here. So you're just going to do a few turns like this. That way we don't have to worry about actually, hurting ourselves with the blade. And once you go around a few times, it's kind of serrated and it'll be much easier to get apart. All right, so I think that's good there. And then turn it the other way and do that, because we're going to use this middle section of the can here. So we don't need the top or the bottom. All right, so after this, we'll see how easy this actually is to take apart. All the videos said it should be easy. I highly doubt that's going to be the case. So yeah, I'm going to go off of here and do this just in case I hurt myself. And then I'll let you guys know how hard it was. Okay. It actually wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be to break it on the line. Just do a lot of like revolutions around the can. And then after that, we can just take some scissors and cut it to where it's just kind of like a piece. And then I kind of messed mine up, so I'm going to even it out. Because at first I tried stabbing the can to get it off, and that obviously wasn't a good idea, and you didn't need to, because it actually broke pretty easily once I turned the camera off, of course. So we're just gonna straighten that out a little bit. Yeah, his phone's in here charging. And we're going to use this to kind of make, you can also use, for this, you can also use like just a metal tube of some sort, but you want it to be metal, and we're going to use it to put in here to kind of hold the wick and make sure that it's a little more efficient, because just stuffing cotton down in there would let most of your vapors out. You want to kind of contain or control the vapors. And then we're just going to mold this to fit into the hole. So let's see. I want to measure it before I cut it. I'm going to cut it a little too big. And you can make multiple lamps with just one can, so you don't really have to cut many cans to do this if you wanted to make multiples. I think I'm going to wrap it to where this is on the inside, so it'll kind of push out and force itself to kind of fit the hole a little better. So we're just going to roll this up and kind of get that in here. Roll it up a little better, and I might have to cut it a little more. So you just want to make it kind of fit the hole as best as you can. So I'm going to roll it a little smaller than the hole, and then just kind of put it in there and let it expand. See how much I might need to cut off. Yeah, I'm going to cut a little bit more of it off. But you do want it to be a pretty snug fit, because you want, like I said, to try to keep as much of the alcohol vapor in, because that is what makes the lamp work. So we just want to make sure that that fits pretty snugly. And you can also use like some type of silicone, or that RTD, is it RTD, RTV, gasket maker, whatever, to seal around this, which I'll probably do at some point. I just wanted to do a rough run of this, and it seemed pretty easy, so I figured I would film it the first time. So yeah, we're going to just make sure that kind of fits in there. And I actually might cut a little bit more of it off, but it looks pretty good for the time being. So now you just want to make your wick with your cotton. And for this, you'll just grab, if you're using a bigger jar like this, you can also use the littler jars. It depends. That's how long it'll burn for you. So I took 2 cotton balls, and you can kind of stretch them out. Just be very gentle and try not to rip them. The more pieces, the harder it is. So you just want to stretch it until you can't stretch it anymore. And then, like I said, for me, it only took 2. And then once you get them all stretched out, just kind of where it meets right there, put it together, and then put it between your hands and just kind of roll it, and then they combined. So that's what I did, and I made my wick. So now we're just going to feed this through the little hole and make sure that it goes all the way to the bottom, and that's pretty much it. Then we're just going to fill it up with alcohol. So I'm going to go off camera and put this all together. And actually, no, we can just do it. So, I am gonna go off camera, because I like to clean these little metal pieces off, which I don't really clean them off. I just take pliers and flatten them. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna trim the little tube I made here, and then we'll be right back. All right, we are done. And that was honestly a lot easier than I thought it was going to be to get the wick through. I just kind of took my metal piece out and just wrapped it around kind of rolled it around my wick there. And then I stuck the cotton wick and the tube in at the same time. So it was kind of like a shoestring thingy, the hard thing at the end of a shoestring. So yeah, that's it. And then we're just gonna, oh, also, you do need to take a small nail and make a small hole on either side, just to let a little bit of gas exchange. So I'm gonna do that now. Let me grab a small nail. I'll be right back. Okay. Small nail. And then we're gonna just, and you want to do these holes, especially if you're using a hammer, while your lid is on your jar. Otherwise, you'll warp your lid and it won't fit. There we go. So yeah, after this, it is literally ready to be filled up and used. So I'll fill it on camera, but I'm going to test it outside. And then I will do a video of how it burns. But let's fill it up. And you do want to make sure that you put, 91% isopropyl alcohol. Anything that'll, like, it's called liquid heat. Or you can use alcohol. You can use vodka, works. Really strong alcohol, but it's cheapest, honestly, to just use rubbing alcohol. So I've got some 91% isopropyl alcohol here. And you want to put a little bit of whatever you're using for fuel on the top wick also, because it is using the fumes, and you want to let it sit a little bit so that the wick can saturate. Oh no, my wick came apart. So yeah, be careful of that, apparently. So let's fill it without the wick in there, because I think it was the action of me actually pouring it on the wick that made it. That's my son. And we don't want to fill it all the way to the top. So let's just hope that this wick stays together. Probably not. Might have to make another one. Okay, Lily. Okay. So there's that. And you want to give it a minute so that no, it did not stay together. Yeah. So, but you can also use a 100% cotton t-shirt, which I think is what I'm going to do next time. Anything 100% cotton or like a wick of some sort. So, what I'm going to do is get my wick situation figured out, and then I'm going to do a test and see how it works. And then I'll get back and do a video of how it works. Bye. It works so good, guys. I tried it outside first, but look. See? Awesome.
And guys,
sterilizing your scalpels.
Guys, I can show you how good this is lighted.
Yeah.
Look, I'll try to
Don't get close to it. Whoa, see?
It's basically
these can even, for the most part, be sat in front of a laminar flow hood.
Ew, it smells terrible.
But, yeah. And it will burn as long as there is fluid in it. And your flame will be as big as your wick is. So if you want it to be a little smaller, you can make your wick a little smaller. Just make sure that your wick is saturated before you light it, or else the cotton will burn down. But while it's covered, or while it is, saturated with the alcohol, it's not going to burn the cotton. It's just going to...
But it won't last forever because liquid does evaporate.
Right. Oh, and I'm glad you said that, Bubba. Thank you. Because these do need to be stored in some kind of airtight container. Like, you can just, when you blow it out, you can put it in a big Ziploc baggie and set it, and it'll be fine. But you do want to make sure that you cover it. Or you could take your lid off and put a regular lid on. You just want to make sure that it's airtight so that your alcohol doesn't evaporate out. And then you can use it again and again and again. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. I can't believe it actually worked as easily as it did. And it was so easy to make. Liam, be careful. But that's it for this time, guys. See ya.
Make sure to give this video 10,000 likes.